Hey guys, it's Jedi Lex, and welcome to the 16th episode of Beyond Tatooine, where I bring on different Star Wars collectors to talk about how their love of Star Wars originated, as well as take a look at and chat about their collections. And on today's episode, I have Joe from JMC Collects. So how you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited. I know later on today we'll be filming on the Rogue 5 Cantina, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
So
We'll be live. We'll be
yeah,
live.
we'll be
Yep.
live.
Yep.
So, I mean, this will
So,
air on Thursday, but we did at the time when this goes live, we'll
mhm.
be live the prior Sunday, I think. This gets y'all confused.
Yeah. That would get me right. That's too much. Like,
Yeah, yeah, mind blown.
yeah.
But for people who may not be following you, can you tell us a little bit about your channel, what you focus on, and where people can find you?
Yeah. So, Instagram JMC collects. Focus on mostly Star Wars. I do dabble in horror a lot. I do have a YouTube channel, same name, JMC collects. I used to do toy hunts and things like that. I kind of haven't done anything in about 5, 6 months on that channel. So I usually just wait for like a convention or something cool like that to do, and then I'll video that. Other than that, the toy hunting, I think for me at the targets and all that is pretty much done for me on that channel. I'm probably just going to move on to like conventions and things like that. Um, my other channel, Rogue 5 Cantina, Sunday nights 9 p.m. It's myself, it's Brett, it's Janine and Flex, and we talk Star Wars every Sunday night 9 p.m. Eastern. So that's my main focus right now. Um, I also have another another channel. It's called Well That Effing Figures, and we just talk pop culture, anything like that. It's myself and EC Collecting, and that's Tuesdays at 9 p.m. We're still trying to hone in on that and keep that going, but it's fun. We talk to horror people, all kinds of folks. So pretty busy with all this.
Yeah, it sounds like you're super busy.
Mhm.
So, how did the Rogue 5 Cantina kind of get started?
Yeah. So like last summer, um, I guess towards the end of summer, we shut down Well That Effing Figures for a while. Just one thing happened and we just stopped doing it. And I wanted to do another live stream, but I wasn't sure like what I wanted to do. And I'm like, well, why don't I just do a Star Wars one since I'm kind of talking to Edmund about doing some things. And I brought it up to him about, hey, if I get a group together and do a show under your umbrella and we'll be like a family, like a sister channel, what do you think about that? And he jumped on it. I was like, cool, yeah, let's work on it. So I went on vacation and I was trying to figure out like who I wanted on the show with me. And Janine, Jedi Niner, me and her always spoke. So I knew if she wanted to do a live stream, I would want her to be on mine because cool collector. She collects awesome stuff. Her and her husband, Scott, good people. Just wanted somebody like that on the show with me. Then the next name, Flex came to mind. Everybody loves Flex. He wasn't really doing anything live stream wise. He was pretty much Instagram. But he agreed to it. All these people are agreeing to it. It's blowing my mind at the time. I'm like, man, everybody's saying yes. So let's go. I asked Brett. Brett had to think about it for a while because he was kind of like getting out of all of this collecting and live streaming and things like that. But he said yeah, and he also said that it's actually rejuvenated him into collecting and doing all this again. So that was fun. So that's pretty much how it came to be. But we're having a great time on the show. It's the support is overwhelming, and yeah, the people who show up in the chat. I mean, there's people in the chat right now who are there for days and just counting down the time to the next show, and I love that. I love those guys, and yeah, we appreciate it. It's a fun time. You'll see tonight. We'll have some fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm totally looking forward to it. I
Yeah,
did tune
definitely.
into the mental health one because
Mhm,
I feel like that's a very deep topic that's close
mhm.
to my heart,
Yeah,
and it was amazing that everyone was just so open
yeah.
and willing to share their stories, and then the
Mhm,
support that they got back, it really touched me, and I was like, wow, it just made me realize that I love this community so much more. Every day it surprises me, and I think that's the best part of doing this all is the support in the community and the networking, the friendships that you
definitely.
make, and even people that you've never met before, you feel like you've known your entire life. It's
Exactly.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That show was a lot different than our normal show, obviously, but it was something that had to be done because I
Yeah.
think people tend to hold things in And I know I do that. I try to self-heal myself a lot of times, and sometimes you just need that one person to talk to, or in our case, maybe 300, 400, who watch it, whatever. But if we could help one person that doesn't like to open up, and they feel a lot better at the end of the day, that's what we wanted to do. And that's going to be something that we're going to do from time to time. That I've actually a couple years ago, a year and a half ago, another guy on YouTube gave me the chance to open up. T3 Collects. He had a mental health show, and that was the first time I was ever on a live stream. Nervous as hell, and I'm telling my story, and I just felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. That I can talk to somebody outside of the normal family that I normally talk to or know the situation. So if we could pass that along and do that for somebody else, that's definitely what we want to do. So
Yeah.
we're definitely proud of that show.
Yeah, I would be too. It was a great show. It's a great
Thank you.
idea. I look forward to the coming episodes that you guys are going to do because I think it's awesome that you tried, aside from, just the conjoint love of Star Wars that brings us all together, just being able to support one another. And I think it's really a big deal to get support from other people that aren't in your day to day because they bring a
Right.
different perspective and a different level of support than,
Exactly.
your close family and friends. So
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. And I look forward to the future episodes that you guys do on that.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do that again sometime for sure. So thank
Absolutely.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I guess let's kick it off. How did your love of Star Wars originated? What brought you to loving it so much?
I guess, see, I'm older. I was born in 1973. So I was 4 years old when the first one came out. And I know my dad, he told me he took me to that first one, but I was 4. I can't remember. I take his word for it. I know he doesn't lie. So we went to see that movie. I do remember going to Empire Strikes Back because I was more about, I guess, 8 years old at the time then. And I remember going to that, and I just was blown away by, these stormtroopers and Darth Vader and all this stuff's going on, the shooting, the spaceship, just ships and all that. It was just amazing to me. And ever since then, like I collected Star Wars things and all kinds of toys, obviously, but Star Wars has always been that one constant that never fell off from me. Because I was telling you backstage, I love wrestling, but wrestling figures fell off from me. Still love watching it, still love talking about it, but Star Wars is the one thing I still love to watch, I still love to talk about, and I still love to collect. So that's going to be that one thing that's probably going to stick with me forever. And it's all because of like back in the 70s and 80s when it first came out. I had like so many toys. I wish I still had them too, because I'd probably be a wealthy man. But just to remember, like having these, like you walk around a convention like ICCC and you see all these retro figures and you see all this stuff and you're like, wow, like I had that in my case. And I used to open the case up, you had the Obi-Wan, I had the Darth Vader, I had all these figures. It just blows my mind. Like all these years later, it's just a constant in so many people's lives. And like, it really is. It's crazy to even imagine,
Yeah, I couldn't like imagine my life without Star Wars, but
No.
yeah, I grew up with it. I used to collect like Legos when I was younger, and I always like think about that. I'm like, if I still had those sets that I had years ago, I would probably be very wealthy. Like my
Yeah.
collection would be worth a lot. But of course, I got rid of them. I fell out of it and then kind of found my love for it again. But I always think about that. I'm like, all the stuff that I used to have would probably be worth a lot of money if I kept it in pristine condition.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always did. Like, when I was a kid, I wasn't a kind of kid like to just destroy my toys. It was like we would hang out on my porch and we display them. And then if anybody tries to touch them, whoa, don't touch my stuff. It's like, I don't want to play with them. That's for, they're hanging out, like, but, so I wasn't like the kid that was crashing them together and all this stuff. I was just like pretty much collecting, I guess, from day one without even realizing I was collecting it,
Yeah.
So, and even though like, I even had like some that my dad would say, let's buy 2. And I'm like, Dad, you're going to spend that money. Like keep one in the box and one to play with. He was the originator of telling me that. Like, and for the longest time I did it. And then I sold my collection off years later, reluctantly. I shouldn't have done that probably now thinking back, but I did. And it's a very valuable lesson too. So I shouldn't have, but he used to buy one to play with and one to keep in the box. But the one I opened it was just as pristine because I didn't really damage them. So
Nice. So does your dad collect then too, like Star Wars stuff, or not like as?
no, my dad passed away last year. But no, he never really collected. He was just always the one like he's like when he was a kid, he started collecting like baseball cards, and then he would say, "Man, I wish I still had that Mickey Mantle," you know. And he's like me saying now, like, "Damn, I wish I still had my Darth Vader original figure." Um, but no, he does. He never really collected. He just always helped me do it and wanted me to, have something later on to, cherish or if needed be, worst case, have something to fall back on monetarily. So yeah, but he never really collected anything. Maybe little things here and there like cards. That's about it.
Gotcha. So he's just
Yeah,
a wise collector
he
without
was. Yep,
collecting.
he was.
Oh, that's cool.
Hmm.
So is one of the original trilogy, since those are the first ones that you watched, are one of those your favorite movie, or do you like something else?
I love all three of those. I think Empire is my favorite. But Rogue One, it amazed me when I seen that. It's like to take a movie was made in 1977 and then make a prequel to that leads into it to find out like where the plans came from and all that and like make
Mhm.
it fit perfectly. They did an awesome job with that, and that's probably my fourth favorite after the trilogy, to be honest.
Gotcha. Okay, so then were
Yeah,
you a fan of Andor or no? Like the
I
show?
I liked it. Um, yeah, I mean it's one of my favorites on show wise. I think they're going to do more with it. Honestly, I hope. I think they are anyway. I think I heard that, but yeah, I like the character in Rogue One. So for them making the show and explaining a little bit more about it made sense. Um, I guess I compare everything to like Mandalorian because Mandalorian season 2 was really cool for me.
Yeah.
And I even like Boba Fett. See, I like everything Star Wars. I'm not so critical like some people are. I don't really. I just look at it as Star Wars. I don't look at it as like Disney's doing this, Disney's doing that. I mean, I know it's not going to be the same, but it's Star Wars. So I just try to enjoy it and keep all the negative stuff out of my head with it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, there's definitely some things I dislike about
Hmm.
it, but
Hmm.
I feel like overall I'm not like, "Oh my god, like
Yeah.
I hate this." And like even with the Acolyte trailer coming out, I guess there was like a lot of
Hmm.
controversy around it, which I
Yeah.
didn't even realize because I thought it was an amazing trailer and I'm like
Me
super
too.
excited for it, but I guess there was like an overwhelming amount of like dislikes on the video and I was like, that's like crazy to me because I thought it was
Yeah.
so good, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And like Andor, it did start out slow. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But towards the end, it got better, and I was fine with it. But like you said, with the Acolyte, um, I heard a lot of negative things too. Uh, but I'm just like, it's Star Wars. Let's give it a chance, and let's watch it, and then make our judgment. Because it may blow us away. Who knows? It might open
Mhm.
the door of explaining things that we kind of want explained that we never really even thought of. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to give it a chance and have an open mind about it. That's what I do with Star Wars stuff because at least they're still giving us content. This is the way I look at it.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
mean,
stagnant at all. So
100%. I mean, at least it's, like, content too that we haven't really gotten before, at least,
mhm,
like, on screen. We
mhm,
don't have a lot of High Republic stuff. I mean, there's, like, the comics and the books and stuff, but when it comes to, like,
right.
show-wise and on screen, we don't really have anything, so I think it's cool that we're kind of going back to in a more unexplained time
Mhm,
period, at least on
yeah.
screen,
Yeah.
that I'm, like, super excited about.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. I'm just going to have an open mind like I always do and watch it and then I'll base my own decision. I don't want to have a negative thought about it before I even get into it because then you're looking for negative things to happen at that point. I just want to
Yep.
go into it like having fun, watch it. It's a
Yeah.
show, man. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, I think it's hard when people I was like, "You guys already, like, are hating on the show.
Right.
We haven't even seen it." And, like, at the
Yeah.
time, we didn't even have the trailer for it, now we do, and they're like, "This is gonna be awful." I was
Yeah.
like, "You don't even know. We got, like, a 2.5-minute trailer, and you
Hmm.
already hate the show?" Like, that it makes no sense to me how people
No.
can kind of jump to those conclusions without even seeing you don't know much about it, like, I mean, the trailer gave us bits and pieces, but the overall story, we have no idea, there's so much
Hmm.
mystery behind it
Right.
still. and people already are hating on it. And I'm like, I don't know how you have like come to that already when we haven't even seen it. You got to be open. But if you already have a negative opinion, you're going to be looking for the negatives in the show, and then
Exactly.
that's going to
Yeah.
make it bad.
Yeah. 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 I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you like Andor. You said it's one of your top, but what
Mhm.
is your favorite show? Could be animated or live action. Either or.
My favorite was probably I love the Mandalorian series, to be honest. Boba Fett was good. I thought they toned it down a lot, which a lot of people didn't like, and I agree with that. It wasn't the greatest. I think they could have done better. But the Mandalorian, um, I guess because that was one of the first series they brought back after a while. I was so excited for it, and they did such a great job, with the actors and picking out who's playing who, and I enjoyed it a lot, and especially like season 2 at the end with Luke and the Dark Troopers. It was just really badass. So that's probably my favorite. Yeah.
Okay. Even like with season 3, I know that was a mixed
Mhm.
bag for a lot of people.
Yeah, season 3 I enjoyed up and there's a few episodes that I could have done away with, like the Jack Black episode and things like that. But I mean it is what it is. I mean, not everything's perfect, and hopefully we won't see him back in it. I don't think we will ever see that again, but you never know. You
Yeah.
never know. So
I mean, I love Jack Black. He will always be my Kung Fu Panda and stuff like that. But
yeah, I
I think
just
seeing him was like, I was like, you
just
know,
in Star Wars, I think Star Wars is one of them things where you don't want a really well-known actor in it. You want somebody who's unrecognizable so that you really sink your teeth into that character instead of, oh, Jack Black, he was in this or that.
yep.
That's just the way I feel about it.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. But yeah, I really enjoyed Mando. But I
Hmm.
know that they are doing the Steel books, and I
Hmm.
know that they just mentioned that they are doing one for Mando, and it's the complete series. So
Okay.
do you think that kind of closes the door for season 4? Because I know that was been like mentioned.
Yeah, I was hoping they would do like a movie to close it out, but I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Like, if they do another season, they would have to do kind of like the Bad Batch is doing. They gotta seal everything together and get it all taken care of in one season. And they would have to do the same in a movie, but I just think a movie might sum it up better, in my opinion, than an actual fourth season.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I'm open to either. So, like I said, I'm a sucker for it. I'll watch whatever. I'll base my own opinion, and we'll move on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I know they are doing the Mandalorian and Grogu
Hmm.
movie, which
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to. Do you have
Yeah.
any like predictions on what you think we might see, or
I
kind of
honestly
just
didn't even know they were working on that. To be honest, like there's so much going on; it's hard to keep
yeah,
track of it all. And if I tell you I know everything about Star Wars, I'd be lying to you. I can't keep track. Some of these timelines are like blowing my mind, things like that. But honestly, I haven't really heard that they're doing that movie. I know a lot of people are sick of Grogu, so I don't know how that's going to come about. But that's another complaint people have.
yeah.
Um, like I said, if they do it, I'll watch it. But actually, to be honest with you, I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, I think they at the same time they announced that Ahsoka 2 was like
Hmm.
greenlit. They
Hmm.
also did the Grogu and Mando
Okay.
movie,
Okay.
which I thought was interesting because I know they were between doing like a movie and a season 4, and I was like, well, now are they going to
Hmm.
do both of them, or is it going to be like one or the other?
Right.
But I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to kind of see the two of them on big screen.
Hmm.
I'm very excited for that. I like going to the movies. I like the movie format. I don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the shows, but having to wait week to week to know what's going on
Hmm.
rather than just being able to watch it within like 1 to 2 hours, I
Hmm.
prefer that. And
Yeah.
maybe having a bigger budget like for movies
Right.
might be a better story, but I don't know. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm kind of torn with like the week to week waiting and binge watching because like I'm old school, so like we had to wait a week way back in the
Mhm.
day, like for the cliffhanger to what's going on next. So I don't mind that, but again, like I told you backstage, I'm very impatient. So like nowadays, I just kind of want to binge watch and get it over with. And then when I do that, I'm like, damn, now I have nothing to watch. So I'm kind of torn.
Yeah.
You can't please me, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I feel the exact same way. I think waiting the week to week, I'm like, "Oh my god," especially when they leave us
Hmm.
on, like, such, like, a high note, and I'm
Hmm.
like, "What's gonna happen next?" But then I'm like, "I hate waiting," but then if
Hmm.
I do binge it, there's like nothing after that for like a good period of time. So I'm
Right.
like, ugh, I'm definitely torn. I'm in the middle, just like you are.
Yeah.
I need like a happy medium, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yep.
Okay. So who would your favorite Star Wars character be then?
Darth Vader, hands down.
Hands
Yeah.
down. Okay.
Yeah. Darth Vader.
So then what
For
were
sure.
your opinions on the prequels? Because I know you were like an OG
Hmm.
trilogy. That was what you
Hmm.
first watched, and then we got to see Anakin and how
Hmm.
that kind of happened. What were your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
It was kind of cool to see how he became Darth Vader. To me, honestly, I think he, they showed him as a small child and how things progressed, and you know, how he was swayed by the dark side, and getting talked into, coming to the dark side and things like that. I just think it was neat to see actually, just how the costume came to be. Just the whole thing is just they did it so well that I have no complaints about that. I enjoyed it, and he's always been like just and even when he was in part one, part two, of the original trilogy, he's the Darth Vader. He's a bad guy, but he always had that little sentimental side that you can see peeking through, just like Anakin always had. He always had that doubt about fully being dark side, and he would always go like kind of like back and forth. You could tell in his eyes, like he wasn't sure like to do it 100%, and he's always just had that little piece of light side. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it was cool to see. But yeah, he's definitely my favorite character of all time.
Gotcha. Yeah, Anakin is definitely my favorite character because I grew
Is
up
he?
with the prequels. I was
Hmm.
like my jam, but I
Hmm.
always thought it was like really cool because I feel like his story going from Anakin to Vader to kind of like back to Anakin again.
Hmm.
Like I feel like that's the most like crazy story arc that I've ever seen. Like I don't even
Hmm.
think I've seen it in anything else. Like
Right.
I like Marvel too. I'm a big Marvel girl, but like even in that, I feel like there's no story that is like that's like that and is generational.
Right.
Like it's crazy, but I always love that. And then I got to meet him at MegaCon, and
Oh, nice.
the little girl in me was like screaming. It was so exciting.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I still have not met him, but I hopefully he'll be going to ICCC. I don't know. Well, they haven't made any announcements yet, but I'm hoping because he'll be on my list for sure.
Do you think it's like a high probability possibly that we could see him? Because that would totally
Uh,
seal the deal for me going.
Um, I don't know. It's hard to say with what Michael Havens has plans for that, but you never know. I mean, they had Ian McDermott last year. He was really nice. Talked to him for a few minutes as he signed because, like I said backstage, it was really easy to get signatures at ICCC. You don't wait in line 2 hours. So I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see who Michael gets this year. But now that Hayden's doing like conventions again, I think it's a probability that he may be one of them. I'm thinking so. We'll see. He's
Okay.
definitely on my list if he is going to be there for sure.
No, 100%. That would be really cool. I mean, it would be
Yeah,
cool if like he could get like both Ewan and Hayden there because it seems like they've been doing
yeah,
a lot of cons together.
yeah, yeah,
But you know,
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I
If
definitely am looking ICC's on my list. I wanna,
mhm,
like, kind of venture out of Florida for
mhm,
conventions because I tend to not leave Florida, but
mhm,
it's definitely on my list. I wanna do that. I do wanna do Celebration next year in Japan.
mhm.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that's probably gonna not happen for me. I don't know if I can sit still on a plane that long,
Yeah.
but it's tough. It really is. But if they go back to Orlando with Celebration, I'll be there. It's a 2.5 hour flight. I'm there for sure.
Yeah. I wish I, like, knew about Star Wars Celebration when it was in Orlando.
I know, me too.
But I had, like, because that's literally right up the road, that's, like, a 2-hour drive, so
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh," like, I wish, and then, I mean, they did Chicago, like, they did some within the States, and
Hmm.
then, of course, by the time I found out about it, they were in Anaheim, then they were in London,
Yep.
and
Yep.
now we're in Japan, which Japan's on my list, it's on my bucket list eventually,
Hmm.
so I'm like, "You know what? Maybe I can hit 2 birds with 1 stone and
Right.
visit Japan, but also get to go to my first celebration," so I
Yeah.
don't
It'd
know, it's exciting.
definitely be fun to go for sure. Japan's, yeah, it'd be a beautiful place to visit. And not only that, if you could kill two birds with one stone, like you said, and have some Star Wars fun. It's just I hear celebrations so jam packed. It's like I go back to the patience thing again. Like I don't know, that's too many people. Like
Yeah.
ICC makes it really fun for me and affordable. And since they're in Nashville, there's a ton of things to do too. So like you could venture out and do the Broadway scene if you want and try that out and things like that. It's fun. It's a fun time.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I've been to actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I've been to Tennessee, so that'll be another
Yeah.
2 birds with 1
Hmm.
stone. That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
And you're probably what, like 2 hour flight from there, maybe?
Yeah, I don't think it's that far at all, but I
Yeah.
would definitely probably fly. I don't think I could do the drive over
Oh,
there.
I drove 2 years in a row, 12
Oh,
hours.
really?
Yeah,
Are
12
you gonna
hour
drive
drive.
this year?
No, I think I'm gonna fly this time. I
Okay.
think it's kind of the problem is you can't really buy anything too big if you fly. But I'm not really looking anything for any big purchases this year. But then again, last year I wasn't thinking I was going to find some of the stuff I found. Uh, but I don't know. Like my wife's not going this year, so like I'm not much of a driver by myself for 12 hours. Like I need somebody to talk to. I don't
Yeah.
think I can keep quiet that long. Um, so I don't know. Maybe I find a buddy to fly down with, or just fly myself. And once I get there, I'm going to see a whole lot of people anyway that either I know or known online for years now. So it'll be a fun time either way.
Yeah, because I was talking to Tony or Star
Hmm.
Wars Sith about it, and he
Hmm.
was like, "Yeah, I flew last year." He was like, "But I think I'm gonna drive this year because you can't buy anything. Like, if you
Yeah.
fly, you only have like, I mean, yes, you could bring like a bigger suitcase, but you still have
Hmm.
your clothes and stuff and whatever else that you need. So there's only really limited amount of things that you can purchase." And he was
Right.
like, "And there were so many things I wanted to buy," and I was like, oh, so it kind of makes me want to drive, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like that I'm just not a long like I feel like more than 2 hours is it's like a no for me.
Yeah. Yeah. 12 hours. I
Currently.
mean, the drive from me from Maryland to Tennessee it wasn't bad because you get on like these long stretches of highways. Like I think it was Interstate 80 or 81. I forget what it was, but I'm on there for a good few hours.
Yeah.
And it's really scenic and it's nice and it's not a lot of traffic. So once you get through like Baltimore and DC and you start to venture off into West Virginia and all that, it gets a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
for
don't know.
me. Yeah, for me. So
I'll consider it. I mean, I definitely really want to go. It's on my bucket list, but how I'm
mhm.
going to get there, I
Yeah,
think that's the big question.
yeah.
So
You
we'll
could
see.
always ship things back too, but then you got to budget that into the fact of
Yeah.
you know if you fly, you're probably going to save money. Maybe you save a little bit of money because gas is outrageous at some places. But shipping is going to kind of counteract that. So it's kind of, I mean, it's one of those things. You'll figure it out. I think I'll see you there.
Yeah.
I think you're on the edge of saying yes.
No, I really wanna go. I
Hmm.
think it's, like, the logistics of, like, if I drive, well, then I'll have my car and I can go and visit other things and stuff
Hmm.
like that. Because 'cause I'm still too young to rent a car.
Hmm. I tell you
So
what, Uber is really good in that area.
oh, really?
Like the
Okay.
Uber's around. Like since it's a pretty big city, um, Uber's like there in minutes.
Interesting.
So
Okay, well,
yeah.
that's good to know. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of people that have gone that I can, like, talk to and bounce some ideas off of, but I think it'd be really cool to go,
Hmm.
so it's on
Yeah.
my list. I just
Yeah.
gotta figure out how to do it, you know?
Yeah, I'm still there too. After the third year, I'm still figuring out. Do I want to drive or fly? So I'm not sure yet. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
find
thinking
out.
flying, but who knows? If I find a
We'll
buddy to drive with, then
You'll
I'll go.
drive?
I'll drive. Yeah, I don't mind
Okay.
driving. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it, I get it. Okay, well, you did send me some pictures of your
Hmm.
collection, so do you
Hmm.
wanna talk about those?
Sure.
Cool. So these are the first 2 you sent me.
Hmm.
What do we have here?
So on the left, I won that print from J2SO on Spice Runners Lounge. It's one of my favorite prints. It's really detailed. There's so many little clones. I didn't get close enough, but if you zoom in, there's a lot of little clones in that picture. And it's one of my favorites. I couldn't wait to get that once I won it. And I was on a streak of winning things back then. Like it was like boom, boom. I won like 3 or 4 things in a row. But this one I saw, I really loved it. So I got the helmet to go with it. That's an X Coaster. A lot of my helmets are either Black Series or X Coaster, and that
Okay.
one is X Coaster. And then a few months later, the Black Series one came out. So Um, I ended up not getting that one, so because this one was so nice. The Hot Toy Bo-Katan and her helmet. That helmet's Black Series, um, and her little Black Series figures next to it. So I think I got another picture of the Boba on the throne. I just cut his head off on that one, but underneath you can see a little bit of the Fennec Shand and her helmet. I try to keep the helmets with the Hot Toys sometimes just so it displays nicely, but that's just in my own head, so it looks cool.
No,
But, yeah.
I totally agree. I like that setup, so it's not
Mm,
just you. I would do
thanks.
that too if I had helmets,
Hmm.
but I'm not there yet.
They're addicting. Yeah, I love the helmets. They're
Yeah,
addicting for sure.
that's what I've heard. I feel like once you get one, it's just like another rabbit hole. So I've tried
Hmm.
really hard not to, but I feel like the
Hmm.
price of the Black Series and just like the quality that you get with it is like kind of really worth it, you know? Like you don't
Hmm.
have to go
Hmm.
and drop hundreds of dollars. You
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
but you know, I don't know. I think they're cool.
Yeah, I mean the X Coaster, I find like 99% of those. I mean, you might get one where the paint is like a little, you know, but for the most part, they come through really nicely, and they do a good job with them. So and they're relatively Black Series priced. Honestly, they're 200 or under. So
Oh,
I find them to be really like kind of a custom, but not really. And but it's not Black Series, and not that they do a bad job because they do a good job on a lot of them. But I just the X Coaster's always been good to me, so I just stick with it.
okay. I'll have to check
Hmm.
them out. I haven't heard of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So good to know.
Some
I
more
see
Hot
some
Toys.
Funkos.
Yeah, yeah. I try to. Sometimes I just hang. The ones that I've had for a while, I just try to put them around with the characters that are in that detail. But the top, I have Boba and Boba in the armor. Um, the stormtrooper helmet that he's standing on is kind of cracked. It came like that, so it's pretty cool to see that displayed like that. I love that display. And then on the right, the little stormtrooper skull was made by Joel Haas from Spice Runners, and he sent that
Nice.
to me as a gift, honestly, and I love it. So I just put in there with some stormtroopers, and there's just two hot toys hanging out there. But I'm a stormtrooper guy, so there's a crap load of stormtroopers in this room. I love the helmeted characters. It's just where I'm at. So
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna ask about the Stormtrooper skull because I feel like that's like really cool looking.
yeah, yeah, he does a lot of custom work. I don't know if you've seen him on Spice Runners, I'm sure. Joel
I
Haas.
think so.
Yeah, he does a lot of custom work, and he sent that to me. We had a giveaway. He sent me the giveaway that he so graciously gave us the giveaway on Rogue 5 Cantina, and when he sent that, he sent this one as a gift for me. So I'll
Awesome.
never let that go. It's a piece that I'll keep forever.
Yeah, it's a cool
Hmm.
piece.
Hmm.
Is that a challenge coin next to it?
It is. So J2SO sent that to me when I got the print of Ahsoka. So that's it's pretty cool. It has like the clones on it. And yeah, it's cool. It's a cool coin. He just sent that as a side gift. So it's pretty
Cool.
sweet looking. So
Yeah.
put that in there next to Joel's little skull there, and love those things. So they'll never leave my collection, along with the print. I'll never let that go either.
Nice. I get that. And that Vader, he looks pretty tall.
Yeah, it's 4 foot. So that's a funny story. Like, so I have the Stormtrooper I got local. They're made by Jack's Pacific, I believe, and they talk. But this particular one, my wife was going to visit family down in Virginia, and I said, "Hey, while you're down there, do you mind meeting a woman at Wawa to pick up this 4 foot Darth Vader?" So my wife's she's a pretty cool person. So she was like, "Yeah, I'll get it." So she went down there on her way and picked that up for me. The lady was selling it for like $50. I mean, them things
Oh
are like
wow.
$300-400 sometime, I heard. But it's missing one of the little metal pieces on the chin, but you really can't tell if I don't tell you. Just I didn't even notice it for the longest time, but he's pretty cool. So got him in the Stormtrooper,
Cool.
and then the on the left, Luke's helmet. That's Black Series. So
Okay. And I think I see a little Lego X-Wing.
yeah, 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 I was doing Legos for a while. I kind of got away from it. Just I don't know if it's just the fact that when I move them, they break apart and then I get mad. So like I'm like,
Yeah.
because I picked up my Dark Trooper helmet and it fell apart. And like once you lose a few pieces, I don't know where they come from. So I had to put it in the closet and put it away because I don't have time to figure out where you have to take it all apart to do it all over again. It seems like. So I kind of got away from Lego. I did enjoy doing them for a while. Um, but yeah, I just kind of got away from it now. I love looking at them. I love building them. It's just it's just time wise and patience wise, kind of running out of both.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Well, I like Legos, so that was cool to see. Had a
Yeah.
little Lego X-wing.
In the background there, behind the Vader's head, is Emperor Palpatine. That's the picture I got signed last year.
Uh,
So from Ian McDermott. So that's I love that piece. He actually kind of like started to write something and then stopped and then he fixed it. And he was like, "You want me to do another one?" I'm like, "No, I want to keep it the way it is." So it's a custom now. So
yeah,
yeah, he was a
absolutely.
cool guy though. He was cool. I mean,
Yeah, it seems like everyone that's like met him has had
yeah,
like nothing but positives to say, which is like
yeah,
really nice. Because I know I had Jose on and he
mhm,
met him and
yeah,
he was like, yeah, he's cool, and I was like, cool.
yeah. It was funny because like I was videoing him. I was videoing Jose getting his archive figure signed by him. And I was trying to be discreet, like because I didn't know if they'd like that or not. But he said, "Could you video this for me?" I'm like, "Sure." So it was cool. But definitely my second favorite character behind Darth Vader. So it was really awesome to meet him.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome then. It
Mhm.
means like even more when it's one of your favorite
Yeah,
characters. So
definitely. Yeah,
it's
I
always
knew going in I have to get his autograph. So I was so glad he was there.
yeah, absolutely. There's the
So
Bobo, but with his head.
yep, there's the Boba without the cut off head. Yep, the throne. So I just put like I think a little matchbox with Boba on it next to it. I put his little skateboard that I got next to it and his Boba shoes and a little but just I used to have Fennec sitting on the side like everybody else does,
Hmm.
but I kind of put her with the helmet now and left him by himself. And then on the left, Mandalorian with all his gear and everything. So yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces. The Mando. It came with so many like accessories. It's ridiculous.
I mean,
So
it looks like he's carrying a lot.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so are those
So,
all like Hot Toys, the cars that you have next to them? I mean, sorry, Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels, yeah. Hot Wheels makes little Star Wars, cars, and if I come across them, I pick them up and I put them next to it. I think it displays pretty cool just to have it all next to them.
Yeah, they do some cool
Mm-hmm.
like Star Wars ones. I've seen those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Cool.
and
Mando and the Blurg.
yeah, I got that last year at ICCC, so I love that one. The blurg is awesome looking. I mean, it's so detailed. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that'll probably stay here for a long time. I love that one. It's huge though. It's like it takes up. I mean, it takes up so much space. I can't even fit it into a DTOF unless I take a shelf out. That's how big it is. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool looking. And the Stormtrooper on the right, that's another Jack Specific. Got pretty good deal on that one as well. But that was more local. But they're just kind of guarding the room and my little camera next to it, make sure nobody comes in here. with Darth Vader, the Stormtrooper, and my camera, it's foolproof. So,
Yeah. It'll scare anybody away.
right.
And I see the episode 3 poster back there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bought a whole bunch of like if you go around my room, I should have taken pictures. I have them like all lined up in order, as many as I could fit.
Okay.
The main room, I got Rogue One, then Episode 1, 2, 3, in order going this way, and then the others going that way. So yeah,
Nice.
tried to do the best I could with it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Then the ICC, if you
That one
look
in the
on the
back.
left there of the Stormtrooper's head, that's the ICC poster from the first year I went in 2022. I didn't have it signed, but I would love to get that signed by a few characters in that picture, but I just haven't come across those characters yet. So we'll see what happens in the future.
Were those all the characters or like voice actors that were there that year? or just
Um,
like random Star Wars
just
characters?
I think that's mostly random Star Wars. A couple of them were there, but last year I think they had more voice characters than the year before. Because this year, 23, they had like the Rebels cast. I know Tony got all those, so he
Hmm.
was excited about that. And but I think they try to have some voice characters every year, as well as like the live characters, action characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I think the voice characters or like the
Hmm.
voice actors, they're always like really cool to me. I would love to
Yeah.
meet the rest of the Rebels cast, but
Hmm.
I feel like Freddie keeps canceling on every con that
Hmm.
I try to go to.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine. I'll live, but
You'll get them eventually.
I hope so. I got Hera and Ezra so
Uh-huh.
far, but he was
Cool.
supposed to be there. It was supposed to be like all three of them, and then he canceled last minute, and I was
Hmm.
like, oh. So it's fine. I
Yeah.
still went, but it was fun.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
And I think Lars doesn't really do conventions.
I've heard that. Like
So
not many anyway. So if you do get a chance, I mean, you better jump on it because I don't think he does a ton of them.
yeah, I feel like since I've been doing the cons, I haven't seen him like really like advertised at like one of the people that's attending. So it's
Hmm.
always interesting because I feel like
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of people would love to see him. So
Yeah. Yeah.
who knows?
So on the right, it's not a really good picture because I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the whole Bad Batch. They obviously will not all fit in that DTOF, but I have them jammed in there right now. I'm still waiting on Tech. He's supposed to come out this year sometime. So that's on pre-order.
Okay.
But the other four are there. I just got to figure out the right display for them. I may have to use two shelves to do it or something. But yeah, right now they're just hanging out waiting for their buddy. On the left, the TIE fighter pilot helmet. That's another X-Coaster piece. This one came out really good. It has the tiers coming, the tier stripes coming down. I guess that's what they call them. They did a really good job with this one. The paint job was clean. They do a good job. So yeah, that's one of my favorites. I like that. I just want to try to hook up some tubing in the front holes to go back, and because it's the one thing they don't add to it. But I may do that myself with a little Home Depot stop. See what happens.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the Bad Batch, I see Hunter, Crosshair, Wrecker. Is that
Mm,
Echo that's behind? So
It
that
is. It is.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a terrible picture in my head, but
No, okay.
yeah, I just don't know what to do with them yet. I have to find some space. So right now they're just hanging out in there. But Wrecker's my favorite out of the group. He's huge too. Like he doesn't look like he's a lot bigger than the other ones in that picture, but he is. He's a lot bigger.
I
I
mean,
may even have to take them off the stands, and then I'll have more room in there. That's what I've been doing lately, is putting the stands back in the box, and it saves a lot of space, believe it or not. So I may have to do that.
yeah, interesting. I mean, Wrecker is definitely a big guy, but
Hmm. Hmm.
it looks like the stands definitely take up like a decent amount of
They
space.
definitely do, yeah. So I may take them out and make more space for Tech when he comes, or I'll figure it out eventually. We'll see.
Yeah, work in progress.
Always.
I hope the Tech one comes out cool. I love Tech. I was so sad
Mhm.
when he like died, but
Yeah, yeah. I see. I think he will. I mean, I'm still like that's the only helmet I don't have either of all five of them, because I think there's a company, Cybercraft, makes a nice one. I haven't come around to get it yet. But also, I think Rex Henry from Millennium Workshop makes a cool one. So he would probably be my go-to to get it when I do get it, just because I love to support him and the great work he does. So
yeah.
yeah, I may go that route eventually.
Okay. So it's on the list to get
It's on the list.
in
Yeah.
the future.
Hmm.
Okay. And then I guess speaking of your other helmets,
Yeah, a little dark on the right, but the Rex on the bottom, and then Clone Trooper. The Rex is the X-Coaster. The Clone Trooper, they're both Black Series. And then the top, they're all X-Coaster. They're the Bad Batch that I do have. So, like I said, tech's missing, but eventually hit up Millennium Workshop and fill the void. But we'll see when. It's a work in progress always. So, the two lightsabers on top. I don't know if I sent you a better picture of those, but 2022 ICCC. I think it was limited to 250. and I bought that one there. There's only two lightsabers I have. The one on the right that you can barely see, I might have sent you another picture there. That's from this year, from the 5th anniversary of ICCC. So usually the only lightsabers I buy are the ones that they have there, the limited quantity ones. I think I got number 12 this year out of 200. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So is it like a custom made lightsaber that's like specifically for that event?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's engraved with ICCC on the black one, and ICCC with the number with the Roman numeral 5 for the 5th anniversary this past year.
That's
So
pretty cool.
mhm.
I didn't know they did that.
Yep.
Cool beans.
And then got the AT-AT driver helmet, and the AT-AT. The AT-AT is one of those micro galaxy figures.
Mhm.
I just put it next to it for the like I said, the display. But that's another X-Coaster helmet, and they're not as screen accurate as some other more expensive ones, but it's close enough for me at this point in my collecting, that it displays nice enough for me. So I love that helmet. That and the TIE Fighter helmet are probably my two favorite helmets that I have, just because they're so iconic and cool looking. And then on the right, some more of the pilot helmets. So yeah, the only one I'm missing now, I think, is what is it? The Carson Tiva, I believe, which is in my cart on Amazon, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet.
It'll probably go on sale at some point. You could do it.
Yeah, it's still at $99. I would love to see it at Ollie's, but I've never seen any of the helmets at Ollie's like people were finding. Not in my area.
Yeah, I went and I looked and I couldn't find one, but $25 for one of those I feel like is crazy. So I definitely would have bought one if I saw it. But I don't know, the Ollie's that's like right down the street is, I don't know, they don't really have a lot. Like I feel like Tony's Ollie's, he's always finding stuff, and I'm like, mine has like literally nothing. It's like bare bones.
Yeah, mine has a lot of figures, but we never got the lightsabers. We never got the shield from Captain America. We never got the helmet. We never got any of that stuff. So
yeah, or maybe it just sold out before you got there.
Maybe. But knowing this area, I doubt it, because there's things that people see at all kinds of stores, and I'm like, they're just not showing up here. So I don't know what the deal is, but maybe somebody went in and bought them all. Who knows? But I mean, at $25-$30, it's possible, but
who knows? And then I think this is the last one that you sent me, which is really
so that's the new. Just got that probably a couple weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Came in. I had that on pre-order since last June, I believe. But that's the Darth Vader damage helmet from Obi-Wan, and I love that helmet. It's probably one of my favorites now. Busts actually from Gentle Giant. It's really cool. I love the stand on it. I love the damage looks so good, and everything about it. Just they did a great job with that one. It's one of my favorites I have now.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty clean. The base of it is it like a lightsaber hilt?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that's a cool one. I think that was like one of my favorite scenes in like all of the Kenobi series. I thought it was just like amazing.
Then I got like the couple busts in the background there from Gentle Giant as well. The 3D Legends that are a little bit bigger ones. So they're kind of the same size as that Darth Vader. And then if you see like that little watch laying there, that's a watch I had from like the 70s. Like when I was a kid, I used to wear that. It's a Star Wars watch. It's a digital. But when my dad passed, I was going through all his stuff and I found that. And I was like, man, I cannot believe he still has this. So I took it out and just put it with my collection. So it means the world to me to have that still.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the little things like that I feel like are like most important.
Right.
But that was cool that he still had that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tiny on my big wrist now, but like I'll always keep it. Like it's not going anywhere. It's just gonna sit there and stay in my collection forever. So
awesome. Okay, so I have a few follow-up questions, I guess, about your collection and stuff. So, how long do you think that you've been collecting?
When COVID started again, like, 'cause me, like, I collected all my life, and then I gave it up for a long time. And then when my son passed in 2016, we used to collect together. And then I just didn't really still have time to or effort to collect anymore. But then when COVID hit and everything was shut down, you're bored to tears. And I'm talking to a buddy of mine. I'm like, man, I wish I could get some of these things I had back. And he was like, why can't you? So he's the one that started this again. So when he said that, I was like, you know what? You're right. Like within my means, I can get a lot of this stuff back, or things that I enjoy, or things that strike like memories in my head. So around 2020, I believe I started this again. So 4 years now, which is incredible. Like that, I've been doing this 4 years already, but I'm having a great time with it. And every time I walk in this room, I just feel like I feel great. Like it's all stuff that I love. So it feels great to come in here and just chill out and look around, and thankfully I have the means to get some of this stuff. So
Yeah. I think it's like interesting because I feel like if people weren't collecting before COVID,
mhm.
COVID is like what really kind of sparked, I think, a lot of people
Yeah,
collecting Star Wars, at
yeah,
least people that I've talked to. Because
hmm
I mean, I started collecting when COVID hit. I was like, I have nothing better to do. Let me buy some Lego sets. Let me get some
yeah,
Funkos, like whatever.
hmm
But I think COVID kind of really ignited the spark for like a lot of collectors at that time to get into it.
yeah. There were a couple good things that came out of COVID, I think, and this was one of them.
Hmm.
It gave me time, like you said. I was doing Legos. I was looking online more, ordering stuff. I couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do nothing. So I'm like, let me
Yep.
get this, have it delivered. So yeah, it kind of sparked again, and for that reason, thank you, COVID. But that's about the only good thing that came out of it, I guess. A few little things, but I guess I appreciate things more now since that happened. Like, you don't know how like lucky you are to be able to go to the store until you can't.
Yep.
So when you go
100%.
now and you look around like the collectible store, you're like, a couple of years ago, this wouldn't happen, and now you can do it again. So it's a
Yeah,
good feeling.
it definitely is. So you collect a lot of things, I see. I'm the same way. But do you have like a primary focus of your collection, or like
Um,
one thing that you collect that's like big for you?
I guess Hot Toys and helmets are the biggest for me. Um, they're kind of both like rabbit holes I went down, and now it's just like I just picked up a Captain Rex. I mean, a Captain Cody, my bad, sorry. Captain Cody from a buddy of mine in Myrtle Beach, and I haven't even opened it yet. But like, I guess helmets and Hot Toys. I just love to display them together, and they're so like detailed, and they are a little pricier. But like I said, I don't go out and buy them every day, so it's not like it's not like a Black Series where you're going to go buy 10 of them, whatever. But if you do, like, hey, you got the means to do it, whatever. But um, I just collect what I love, and I do horror stuff too, like I told you. But my primary thing is just Star Wars, and the helmets and the Hot Toys. Just they're so detailed, man. It's like just my thing. It's
Gotcha.
pretty cool.
Okay.
And custom stuff too. If I come across a custom thing like that Rex makes a custom helmet, that Joel makes custom, those are things that I would love more than just going to the store and buying a piece or something like that, for sure.
Yeah, I get that. And then I guess my last question, which I feel
Mhm.
like is always the toughest, it seems, is what would be the most valuable piece to you in your collection? Could be monetary, could just kind of be based off experience, or,
Mhm.
something that just means is close to your heart.
I guess that little watch that I just showed you. I mean, just the fact that my dad had that all those years. I haven't seen before he passed in January of 23. I have not seen that watch probably since the 80s. So when I saw that, a tear came to my eye in a good way. Like, and I just couldn't believe. I knew the kind of person he was, so I can believe he had it. I just couldn't believe he had it that long, like, and I didn't know about it. So when I opened that box up and I saw that, that's just yeah, it's something that'll never leave my heart or my collection. And it's
Awesome.
probably not worth a dime, but you know what? It's worth a lot to me. It's worth $1 million to me. So
That's all that matters. Oh,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, that was all the questions that I had for you. You have an
Mhm.
amazing collection,
Thank you.
and I appreciate you coming on. It was great getting to talk to you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we go, can you let people know one more time where they can find you, if you have
Mhm.
anything upcoming that they should be on the lookout for?
Yep. Yeah. So JMC Collects on Instagram. We also have a Facebook page for Row 5 Cantina. Uh, Join the group. We have fun in the Facebook community. We also have JMC Collects. It's kind of stagnant right now until probably ICCC or some other conventions that I go to and I film. That's JMC Collects on YouTube. And then every Sunday night on Rogue 5 Cantina, 9 p.m. Eastern, we have a lot of fun. We'll have you on tonight. That's going to be a blast. And yeah, we're having a good time. Myself and Janine and Brett and Flex. We're having a lot of fun. And it's a lot of support from the community on that show. So we love it. Can't wait for tonight, honestly.
I am very excited. But again,
Mhm.
thank you so much for coming on.
Mhm. Yeah,
Great getting to talk to you in
you
your
too.
collection. And I will see everybody next Thursday.
Thank you.